welcome everyone to our annual business meeting. I'm so glad that so many of us can join today. Here is our agenda. I will first review our accomplishments to date and present an overview of what's planned for the year ahead. Andrew will present the finance report. Then we will vote to approve the prior year's minutes, elect the 2024-25 executive, and approve the 2023 accounts. I'll start my report this year with the excellent news that our referral income levels in 2024-23 were the best ever at 7.56 million US. We were up 18% above 2022 and more than 30% since before the pandemic. I want to thank our firms who made such a concentrated effort to use their fellow network members, including Warnham in Michigan, Kornfeld, Much in Chicago, Berliner Cohen in Northern California, and Edwin Co in London. These firms are the largest sources of outbound referrals. Next, we've had some impressive growth since last year's AGM. They include 4 firms in Latin America, including DRET in Colombia, HHA in the Dominican Republic, Villarreal VGF in Monterrey, Mexico, and Zacarias and Fernandez in Paraguay. We've also added Shihata and Partners in Egypt and FMJ in Minneapolis. All of these firms are chamber rated with elite international practices. You will meet several of these firms in person at the Vancouver meeting. Finally, I want to welcome Elenoff, Grossman and Scholl to our network. This 35-year-old New York firm has 125 lawyers and is highly regarded for its corporate and securities practice. We are very happy to have 6 partners from the firm registered to attend the meeting in Vancouver. As many of you know, we are replacing Moy White and Torkin Mains. Moy White has been acquired by a regional firm with many offices that compete with Ally members. And Torkin Mains has decided to join another network. We are pursuing Sherman and Howard in Colorado and the Fogler, Rubinoff, and Ware Folds firms in Toronto. If you have contacts at these excellent firms, please let us know. We'll also be concentrating on exploring our options in China. With many newer firms and a strong tradition of collaboration, our most important initiatives revolve around building connections that foster a sense of comfort and trust between members. Face-to-face meetings with a mix of substantive sessions, client involvement, and social activities are very effective in helping us work together successfully. Last year's AGM focused on sustainability. Over 100 participants attended, and we are so grateful to Russell Kennedy for hosting us. Our Americas regional meeting was in Columbus, Ohio, where we were hosted by Boris. Our discussions focused on legal subsidiaries and ancillary businesses, and with 75 attendees, it was one of our largest ever Americas meetings. Next, we hosted an exceptional reception at the IBA in Paris in a spectacular setting, thanks to Christophe from Alerion. We had more than 100 attendees, and as a result of the reception, managed to add 2 new member firms to the network. Next, our EMEA regional meeting in Milan attracted another record turnout, including various client and industry speakers on sustainability trends and issues. Finally, our Asia Pacific regional meeting included nearly 25 Tokyo-based clients. I want to especially recognize our delegates from Blakemore and Mitsuki for bringing such an impressive group of clients to our discussion. We also plan various member events that don't cost anything extra in expense or time away from the office. These meetups are a combination of in-person and virtual events, each intended to inform members of each other's qualifications and specialized areas of expertise. 10 firms and 14 lawyers from 3 regions plus guests gathered in Singapore during the International Trademark Association's annual meeting last May. We were hosted by a local member firm, A. Ng, C. and Ho. Members from Bolivia, Chile, and Peru met in Miami during the IBA's M&A conference in Latin America. Members also meet up with each other whenever they all happen to be together in one city. Earlier in the year, Boris made time to do exactly this with Edwin Ko, well, all in London. Our virtual meetups flow from the 30 plus Ally special interest groups. Of special note was our March AI webinar that attracted more than 200 members and clients for a program that included a stellar group of member speakers. If you haven't seen it or have an interested client, it's available on our YouTube channel. We also hosted more than a dozen interest group sessions on a wide variety of topics, from changes in tax code to sessions that help women lawyers be more successful. We also had several meetups on green hydrogen, climate change, and renewable energy certificates. We recently started some new special interest groups in aviation law and bankruptcy. Another of our newer groups, devoted to fintech, has published online resources that profile the depth of capabilities across the network in the sought practice area. I'd like to report on some special projects mentioned in last year's annual report. We have continued to highlight our members' commitment to sustainable business practices. More and more of our members have been recognized for their efforts to become certified in sustainability, where Mansfeld or B Corp. We've also highlighted the community programs that our firms are active in through an extensive video series launched at last year's AGM. If your firm wants to expand its sustainability efforts, I urge you to look at these resources. Focusing on sustainability is good for your firm, your clients, and the larger community we operate within. Next, I want to speak about our Right Firm initiative. This effort was launched last year to help maximize the value of Ally membership within each firm by sharing what we know works. Ally leaders have met with firms in North America, Europe, and Asia to share best practices in making the most of their membership in the network. We recognize that the whole organization benefits when Ally Law is successful within each firm. We will have more of these meetings this year and 2025. Finally, we continue to focus on the next generation of Ally leaders. Younger members continue to meet virtually across the network, and the success of this effort can be illustrated by a recent session on AI hosted by a Swiss member. So many are interested in this topic that meetup attendees included some senior partners too. We've worked hard to encourage secondments between member firms. One of our meetups included a report by a recent participant on how to make your secondment succeed. Following a Right Firm meeting with Ally's Finnish firm, Applex and Thine McCartney, Ally's Brisbane member firm Thine McCartney arranged a secondment. If you're attending our meeting in Vancouver, be sure to ask Alex or Mark, partners from Thine McCartney, about the benefits of hosting a secondee. I understand that we have another secondment taking place with Drett Legal, our Colombian member, and Edwin Ko in London. Secondments broaden the perspective of both the host firm and the secondee while strengthening the bonds that link our members. Please let us know if your firm has a potential secondee or is looking to host another member. I would like to briefly review where we will all meet in person over the next year or so. These conferences are essential to coordinating services when we work together on common clients. They can also make managing our firms a bit easier, as we don't all have to search for answers on common challenges and opportunities. I know the non-billable time out of the office and the expense of airfare and hotels can seem daunting. However, members with some tenure in the organization can attest to the value of attendance. Next year's AGM will be hosted by Juan Pablo Cardinal's firm in Buenos Aires at the end of May. In 2026, we will be in Dublin at the same time of the year for our first Irish AGM since 1995. If you won't be in Vancouver this year, remember that attending the AGM is a membership requirement and is free for 2 attendees per firm. Regionally, we will meet in Mexico City this September, just before the IBA meeting, where we will again make a substantial effort to profile the network. In mid-October, our Cyprus member firm will host the EMEA region, and in November, we will be on the Gold Coast in Australia. You can attend any of these regional meetings, no matter what part of the world you live in. In 2025, we will be in Costa Rica for the Americas regional meeting, and in Bali or Jakarta for the Asia Pacific gathering. We'll also be at the IBA in Toronto in early November. We're still working to confirm the EMEA host firm, and we'll publicize that very soon. Before I turn this over to my colleague Andrew Parler for the financial report, let me review the resolutions we will vote on at the end of this meeting. We will ask members to approve the prior year's minutes and our 2023 accounts. We will also ask for your vote to confirm our executive board. This is the proposed executive slate. We have nominated James Turner from Auckland to follow Andrew as the treasurer. And as we say goodbye to Eric Gibel, our board member from Vienna, we ask for your support for our newest director nominees, who include Gina Tresider, head of IP at Russell Kennedy in Sydney, and Shane Coblin, a litigator and our AGM host this year at Confels in Vancouver. So this concludes my report, and I'll turn this over to Andrew. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. This is my last presentation as Treasurer, as I have hit the term limit for this position in Allies articles. I would like to start by thanking the members of the Finance Committee, a knowledgeable and committed group that includes Eric K, Eric G, Bodo, Andre, David, James, and Alex. The Executive has proposed that James Turner from McVeigh Fleming in Auckland serve as our next Treasurer. James has been a Finance Committee member for several years, and I'm sure that he will do an excellent job. During this presentation, I will review our 2023 results, our 2024 financials to date, and reports on referral activity in 2023. Materials related to this report were circulated before this meeting, and there's a link in the chat that you can copy into your browser to access these materials now. We had a strong financial result in 2023. We ended the year with a $40,160 surplus. This had been budgeted to replenish retained earnings after losses in 2 prior years. Each year, we use retained earnings to balance cash flow in the fourth quarter, when we must fund events for the following year. 2023 revenue was $2,300 more than budgeted, due to larger than anticipated hotel commissions from our 4 major meetings. These were well-attended events. Regarding 2023 expenses, meetings were $15,000 below budget due to fewer firms attending the 2023 AGM. While attendance for that meeting was robust, fewer firms attended, decreasing the number of subsidised delegates. As planned, the EMEA and Americas regional meetings were budget neutral. The Asia Pacific regional meeting was $10,500 over budget due to 25 clients attending. Costs of our presence at the IBA and Inter were under budget, but meeting overhead, mainly event software, was slightly over budget. Travel was over budget by $15,000 due to the costs of AGM travel for the outgoing president. Admin expenses were over budget by $15,000 due to higher web design and maintenance costs, offset by reduced marketing spending. Professional services were under budget by $2,700 as we had no legal expenses in 2024. Bad debt was higher than budgeted due to firms leaving the network after dues were calculated for the year. I'll turn now to our 2023 draft statutory accounts. These are filed annually with Companies House in the United Kingdom. According to UK guidelines, our accounts do not need to be audited as we are classified as a small company. However, as part of our fiduciary responsibility to the membership, our accounts are reviewed by certified chartered accountants. M. Jaffer & Co has done this review for Ally Law for 15 years. This involves sending Jaffer our QuickBook accounting records for a review. They select a sample of transactions to check that complete documentation is available to substantiate each, that items are coded appropriately for the income statement, and that the balance sheet calculations have been done correctly. Pleasingly, Jaffer requested no adjustments to our year-end report. There were no significant variances. We will vote to approve these accounts at the end of this business meeting. Moving on to 2024, you will note that our 2024 budget is essentially break even. Revenue was budgeted using the updated dues model approved last year. On the income side, some expenses have increased. The most significant increases relate to the AGM, up around $24,000. We expect more firms to attend, expanding the number of subsidised delegates. In addition, Canadian taxes on goods and services are very high, at almost 40%. We will also spend more on web design as we redo our website, and we've budgeted more for marketing to cover the costs of having clients at events. There was no increase in the lift-off contract fees from 2023 levels. Turning now to our results year to date, the 2024 financials were included in the materials. 2024 dues invoices were sent out in early January. There are no significant collection issues, although a few firms have asked to pay their dues in instalments. Expenses year to date have mainly related to prepayments for meetings and travel for the President and Executive Director. The only significant variance year to date is bad debt. As you know, we welcomed a new Ally member in New York earlier this year. As a show of good faith, we refunded dues paid to our prior member, resulting in a $24,000 write-off. We still project a break-even year. Next, I'd like to report on the 2023 referrals. Our draft report reflects $7.56 million in income to members due to their Ally Law membership. This is an 18% increase from last year and our best ever year for Ally referral income. It's gratifying to recognise the firms that use the network extensively. Once again, Varnum, based in Michigan, was the largest source of outbound referrals in the network in 2023. Varnum sent over $1 million in referrals to 19 members across all regions of the world. A special thank you to Harvey and his colleagues. The referral packet sent to delegates includes charts and graphs. Please review your reported referrals carefully and let Wendy and her team know if you have any questions or edits. Thanks, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in Vancouver. Back to you, Ramesh.